Welcome to the Two Dumbass Wood Shop. In this episode, we're going to talk about how do you organize these things. Stay tuned.
Desperado, sitting in a old Monte Carlo, a man inside his hollow.
Welcome to the Two Dumbass Wood Shop. In this episode, we're going to talk about, as I mentioned, what do you do with these fishing poles that you have hanging around everywhere. And so I decided to do something about that. And in this episode, I'm not going to take you through the cutting, sawing, measuring, screwing part of this. I'm just going to try to pass along some of my tips. I've always been looking for what's that perfect fit for how I was going to store my fishing rods without them being hindered. I bought these initially, these styrofoam ones, and on paper they look like they're really good. But they're really tight. So to get your rod in here, it's kind of hard to do. And the other thing I would say is that it's hard on the rods. I actually snapped one of my rods. It must have been one of my older rods. Just was brittle. And when I put it in there, it just cracked. So these are out. The other one I tried these with PVC, and had something very similar. This worked okay. PVC is not cheap when you compare it to those little connectors I was talking to you about. These were all left over, but to continue to add to it, as you can see, I would need to add quite a bit more in order to accommodate all these fishing rods. And I just didn't like it as well and how those rods sat. To use a bunch of scrap and then also some wire clips. These things are super cheap off of Amazon. Like maybe 8 cents a piece. Super cheap. And when I first got these, my wife and I seemed to have a disagreement whether these are going to work or not. And I'm going to show you that they do. And as we get really close, you can see that they split apart like this, and they have holes on both ends. So they're really designed for screwing in and holding, like if it's on your car, brake lines out of place, or electrical wires, or stereo wire, etc. What I ended up doing was just screwing through this bottom, just like that. And as I got in, I would pull this back and make it more straight on. And I screwed them in, and they're all about 3.5 inches apart. Now, one of the things that I did that I want you to learn from my lessons is I drew this purple line thinking, hey, I'm just going to have these all straight across. Well, your fishing rods have eyelets all over the place. So that may or may not work depending on how many rods you're trying to hang up. But I would still draw your center line on where you're trying to aim. That way you can move them as you need to and still have a point of reference, which is what I ended up doing the further I went down. It worked really great. This structure behind me is all concrete, and it's a styrofoam forms. So periodically I've got plastic studs that I can screw into. It's not going to take a lot of weight. So I only have probably 5 screws over a 9-foot board. And the other key learning I would pass along is hey, I've got a lot of ultralight rods. I've got a couple fly rods, and I didn't want anything up above the top of this structure. So I broke these down, and then I just have these laying across, and it does a pretty good job there. Again, strongly recommend using these wire hangers. I think you probably can even find them at Harbor Freight, but I probably have $20 total, and most of it was in wood in this project. And then I was showing Joel, I kind of tried to create a little bit of a fish, so I've got a little fish head here, and my tail fins and he mentioned that, hey, I'm missing a couple of fins across, but if I would have been thinking, I would have painted it all green with some different colors, make it look good, but it's my garage, so. Other than that, if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. I sure appreciate it. It really helps us out a lot. And give us a like or a comment. Until next time.